Have you ever seen a moment so shocking that it turned a powerful CEO into tears before an entire office? Well, what happened on that day began with a single sentence. "So ma'am, that's my dad's signature." And before I share this unbelievable story with you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more inspiring stories like this one. It was an ordinary Monday morning at a massive corporate building in the city. The marble floors shined under the sun, the employees bustled around in crisp suits, and the atmosphere was filled with ambition. At the very bottom of this hierarchy, sweeping the lobby floors, was a man named Imran. He was a quiet janitor in his late 50s, dressed in his plain blue uniform, his back slightly bent from years of hard work. Every day he was there before everyone else, making sure the halls gleamed before the staff arrived. Most people walked past him without even a glance. To them, he was invisible, just another janitor. But what no one knew was that Imran carried a secret so powerful, it would shake the very foundations of that company. Imran's daughter, Aisha, was a bright young woman of 21, studying on scholarship at a local university. She often visited her father after classes, sometimes bringing him food wrapped neatly in foil, sometimes just to spend a few moments with him. She admired her father deeply, though she often worried about the toll his job was taking on him. To her, Imran was more than a janitor. He was her hero. What she didn't realize was that her father's past was about to come to light in the most unexpected way. One day, the CEO of the company, Mrs. Sarah Malik, called for a high-level meeting. Documents had to be signed for a massive new deal worth millions. The conference room was filled with executives in suits, their laptops open, their eyes glued to spreadsheets. Sarah, a stern woman in her early 40s, radiated authority. She carried herself with the confidence of someone who had built her empire from the ground up, or so everyone thought. As the meeting proceeded, Sarah pulled out an old contract, a founding document from years ago that needed verification before finalizing the new deal. But there was a problem. A signature at the bottom of that document was faded, almost unrecognizable. The board members whispered among themselves. Who was the original signatory? Who had laid the foundation for this company? Sarah herself seemed uneasy. That was the moment fate intervened. Aisha had just arrived at the building to bring her father lunch. She stood quietly by the doorway of the conference room, waiting for him. But her eyes fell on the document in Sarah's hands. She froze. Her heart began to pound. She recognized the strokes of the pen, the curves of the letters. It was her father's handwriting. Without thinking twice, she stepped forward and said clearly, "Ma'am, that's my dad's signature." The room went silent. Every executive turned their heads toward her. Sarah raised an eyebrow, clearly irritated. "Oh, excuse me, young lady. This is a confidential meeting," she said firmly. But Aisha, her voice trembling yet determined, repeated, "That's my father's signature. I've seen him sign papers 1,000 times, on my school forms, on every document he's ever handled. That's his writing." The board members chuckled, dismissing her words. "Impossible," one of them muttered. "She must be mistaken," another whispered. "Her dad's just the janitor." But Sarah's sharp eyes narrowed. She ordered security to bring Imran into the room. Minutes later, Imran appeared, holding his mop, looking utterly confused at being summoned into the conference room filled with executives. His daughter stood beside him, clutching his arm. Sarah slid the document across the table and asked coldly, "Is this your signature?" Imran stared at the paper. His face turned pale. His hands trembled as he touched the faded ink. For a long silence, he said nothing. Then, with a deep sigh, he whispered, "Yes, that's mine." The room erupted in shock. The janitor had just confessed to signing one of the company's founding documents. Gasps filled the air. Whispers spread like wildfire. Aisha squeezed her father's hand, confused but proud. Sarah, however, leaned forward, her voice trembling for the first time. "But how? Why would your signature be on this? Who are you really?" And with that question, an ocean of secrets began to rise. What Imran revealed would leave the entire boardroom, and the CEO herself, in tears. The executives leaned forward in disbelief as Imran slowly sat down, his eyes glistening with memories long buried. "Years ago," he began softly, "this company was nothing but an idea scribbled on paper. Your late father, Madam CEO, wanted to start it, but he lacked resources, investors, and trust. He had the vision, but he didn't have stability. I was his friend back then. I wasn't a janitor. I was an accountant with savings, and I trust him with everything I had. So when he needed a co-signer to get the first bank loan, I signed it. That signature gave him the push to build this empire." The room fell silent again, but this silence was heavier, thicker. Every executive sat frozen, their eyes darting between the janitor and their CEO. Sarah's face drained of color. She'd always believed her father built everything on his own. No one had ever told her that a man now scrubbing her floors had been the silent force behind her father's first step. Imran continued, his voice shaking but steady with truth. You never asked for recognition. Life took me down a hard road. After the factory where I worked shut down, I lost everything. Debt consumed me. My wife passed away, and raising Aisha became my only purpose. I could have begged your father to give me a position here, but my pride stopped me. Instead, I worked silently. I accepted this janitor's job, thinking at least I'd be close to the company I helped start. Every time I wiped these floors, I felt I was protecting something that was partly mine, though no one ever knew. Tears welled in Aisha's eyes as she clutched her father's hand tighter. The executives sat stunned, their arrogance suddenly stripped away. And Sarah, she could no longer hold back. Her voice cracked as tears rolled down her cheeks. All these years, I thought my father built this empire alone. I never knew he had a friend like you, someone who sacrificed everything. Imran shook his head gently. Don't call it sacrifice.